win that same way because she started to play more aggressive, go for her shots a little bit more. So I wasn't too disappointed in myself. I just wish I made the adjustment a little bit quicker. Maybe it would have saved a little bit of future gray hairs or something.
Well, listen, you got out in straight sets, which was great. Second week in Australia, semis.
Coco Gauff has called Alexandra Eala the best player at Indian Wells. She said it publicly after losing to her in the third round. And given the context of how that match unfolded, it is worth examining what she actually meant by it. The match did not begin the way the final scoreline suggests. Gauff won the first 2 games of the opening set, and in those early exchanges she looked like the player who had beaten Eala comprehensively in Dubai 2 weeks prior. Controlled, efficient, establishing the baseline pattern she had used to dominate that quarterfinal. Then something shifted. The slow plexipave courts at Indian Wells have a specific effect on the kind of game Gauff typically deploys. The pace she generates through the court, the ability to rush opponents before they can load up their ground strokes, is compressed on this surface in ways that Dubai's faster conditions do not produce. Eala's heavy topspin, by contrast, becomes progressively more effective as the bounce climbs higher and opponents are pushed further behind their baseline. As the match developed, that dynamic became visible in the scoreline. Gauff won those first 2 games and then won very little else. Eala took the opening set 6-2, constructing a run of dominance that Gauff's adjustments could not interrupt. The tactical adaptation Eala had described in her pre-match press conference, the specific learning she said she intended to implement from the Dubai defeat, was not a press conference formality. It was an accurate description of preparation that translated directly onto the court. The second set continued in the same direction before it was interrupted by what everyone watching had sensed was coming. Gauff had been moving with increasing difficulty throughout the match, compensating in ways that became more visible as the physical demands accumulated. When she pulled up sharply attempting to reach a wide ball and was unable to continue, the official announcement confirmed what the match had already been indicating for some time. Retirement due to injury. Match awarded to Eala. What happened in the aftermath carried its own significance. Eala did not celebrate. She crossed to the sideline, checked on Gauff, and waited quietly until her opponent was in the care of the medical team before acknowledging anything about the result. For a player who had just produced the most significant win of her Indian Wells campaign against the player who had beaten her decisively 3 weeks earlier, the restraint was notable. Several courtside observers commented on it afterward. In her press conference, she addressed the manner of the win directly. She had not wanted it to end that way. Her concern for Gauff was genuine and came through clearly in how she spoke about it, not as a diplomatic exercise but as an honest expression of how she felt about the circumstances. Gauff, for her part, offered her own assessment when the moment was right. She called Eala the best player at the tournament. Coming from a world number 4 who has competed at the highest level of the sport across multiple seasons, that is a specific and considered statement. Not the generosity of a player in the immediate rawness of defeat, but a genuine competitive evaluation from someone who has watched Eala up close and formed a clear view. The questions surrounding Gauff now are medical ones, and they are serious. The inability to bear weight, the visible distress, the nature of how the injury presented. These are not indicators of a minor issue with a short recovery timeline. Whether she will be available for the clay season, whether the French Open remains a realistic target, whether the explosive movement that defines her defensive game will return on the same terms, these are questions that belong to her medical team over the coming days and weeks. The sport genuinely needs Coco Gauff healthy and competing. What she brings to women's tennis, the athleticism, the competitive intensity, the ability to elevate the atmosphere of any match she plays, is not easily replaced, and the hope for her full recovery is sincere. But the result at Indian Wells stands as it stands. Eala was winning that match. The statistics, the game flow, and the assessment of the player across the net all confirm it. The injury ended the contest before its natural conclusion, but the conclusion had been taking shape from the moment Eala began her run through that opening set. Gauff recognized it and said so. That recognition, from that source, tells you something meaningful about where Eala's game currently is.
Yeah, so back to your question, I really didn't want to win this way, but this is still a really big moment for me to be able to play on Stadium 1 of Indian Wells and against such a great competitor. I'm really grateful to be here and I'm super happy.
Yeah. And what happened after the match might tell us even more about Alex Eala than the scoreline itself. Because even though she had just secured one of the biggest wins of her young career against Coco Gauff, Eala didn't celebrate wildly. There was no dramatic fist pumping, no victory lap around the court. Instead, her first reaction was concern. She immediately walked over to check on Gauff. That moment said a lot about who Alex Eala is as a competitor and as a person. In a sport where emotions can run high and victories often lead to explosive celebrations, Eala chose respect and empathy. She understood that on the other side of the net was not just an opponent, but a fellow athlete dealing with a painful and difficult moment. And that kind of sportsmanship is one of the reasons why fans around the world are beginning to admire her so much. Moments like this reinforce why Eala is becoming a role model for young players who dream of reaching the professional level. But let's also be very clear about something. This victory wasn't just about class and humility. It was about performance. Because what Eala did on that court was extraordinary. With this win over Coco Gauff, Alex Eala has now defeated 3 top 10 players during her rise on the WTA Tour. And she hasn't even cracked the top 20 in the rankings yet. That's a staggering statistic. Her results are beginning to stack up in a way that's impossible to ignore. If she continues this run and manages to win a major tournament like the Indian Wells Open, her ranking could skyrocket almost overnight. And that's when things get really interesting, because once a player climbs into the top 20, or even the top 10, the entire dynamic of the tour changes. Seedings improve. Draws become more favorable. Opportunities for deep runs at the biggest tournaments start to multiply. And right now, Eala looks like a player who is accelerating toward that level faster than almost anyone expected. It's not just the fans who are noticing this either. Experts and former professionals are starting to talk about her potential in very bold terms. Before the tournament even began, former American tennis star Sam Querrey made a striking prediction. He suggested that Alex Eala could eventually become an even bigger star than players like Coco Gauff or Aryna Sabalenka. At the time, that sounded like a daring statement. But after a performance like this, it suddenly doesn't feel so outrageous. Because Eala's confidence is clearly growing. Her game is evolving. And with every big victory, the message becomes louder and clearer. Alex Eala isn't just a rising prospect anymore. She's becoming a genuine contender at the highest level of women's tennis. And if this momentum continues, the rest of the tour might need to start preparing for a new era. Tennis fire.
Biggest draw in women's tennis right now.
Yes.
Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco?
Dude, it's crazy. She's having the same effect that Fonseca was having, like, on the men's side last year in Miami.
It's like Fonseca, but I think it's bigger than Fonseca.
It is, yeah, it is.
Like, the Doha, like, crowds were insane.
Alex Eala is quickly becoming one of the biggest attractions in tennis, and the numbers are proving it. As highlighted by Sam Querrey, the buzz surrounding the young star is impossible to ignore. During her very first match at the Indian Wells Open, Eala generated more than $5 million in ticket sales, setting a remarkable attendance benchmark for the event. That kind of impact is incredibly rare, especially for a player who hasn't even broken into the top 20 yet. It shows that Eala's influence goes far beyond rankings. She isn't just competing on the court anymore. She's becoming a genuine global attraction. Her rapid rise in popularity is sending waves throughout the tennis world. Top players like Coco Gauff, Aryna Sabalenka, and Jessica Pegula have all started taking notice of the phenomenon surrounding her. At this point, it's clear. Alex Eala isn't just another promising player. She's quickly turning into one of tennis' brightest stars.
In the world.
Yeah, correct. She's definitely one to watch, obviously because she's so good, but just for the atmosphere. You want to tune into her matches just to see what it's like on the court.
There's got to be like a little jealousy maybe from some of the women, that girls coming in, she's not top 10, biggest star in the world.
Even Coco Gauff has openly acknowledged how dangerous Alex Eala can be at the Indian Wells Open. Gauff noted that the tournament's famously slow courts perfectly suit Eala's style of play, allowing her to fully showcase her movement, control, and tactical awareness. According to Gauff, Eala's ability to adapt to the unique conditions at Indian Wells is what makes her especially difficult to face. She even suggested that Eala might be one of the best players in those specific conditions, a huge compliment considering the level of competition at the event. Gauff also highlighted Eala's incredible court coverage. Her speed moving from one side of the baseline to the other reflects her elite fitness and quick reactions. Combined with her creative shot-making and her ability to recover position almost instantly, Eala becomes a relentless opponent who is incredibly hard to break down during rallies. All of these qualities, Gauff explained, are exactly what make Alex Eala such a serious threat whenever she steps onto the courts at Indian Wells.
It's really physical here because the courts are so slow and the points are a little bit longer, and it's hard for me to hit a winner, and it's probably hard for them to hit a winner. So it's just, being prepared to play a lot of awkward shots, a lot of long points.
The comments from Coco Gauff say a lot about the growing reputation of Alex Eala on the WTA Tour. Gauff, who has spent years among the sports elite, openly acknowledged that the young Filipino star has all the tools needed to become one of the future faces of women's tennis. And it's not just Gauff noticing the impact. Jessica Pegula has also spoken about the incredible attention Eala is bringing to the sport right now. Pegula recalled her experience competing against Eala at the Indian Wells Open and admitted she was stunned by the atmosphere surrounding the match. The crowd was massive, the energy inside the stadium was electric, and from the very first point she realized she was part of something special. Pegula even described the environment as insane, which in tennis is about as strong a compliment as it gets. Eala's presence at Indian Wells has been nothing short of magnetic. Every time she steps on court, the excitement grows, and her performances have only added to the hype. With each match, she's attracting more fans and proving that her potential ceiling is incredibly high. If she manages to complete this run and win the tournament, it would be a historic moment. Capturing the title at the Indian Wells Open on her debut would be an extraordinary achievement and would instantly cement her reputation as one of the most promising talents in the sport. Her victory over Gauff is already a huge milestone, but lifting the trophy in Indian Wells would be a true career-defining breakthrough. It would not only elevate her status on the WTA Tour but could also launch her rapidly toward the top of the rankings. In the end, Gauff's praise highlights just how special Eala's rise has been. She has shown again and again that she thrives on the big stage, and her recent performances suggest this could be only the beginning of a remarkable journey. The big question now is, can Alex Eala continue this incredible momentum at Indian Wells and complete the dream run? Could she become one of the future leaders of women's tennis? Share your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more updates and stories from the action at Indian Wells.